Hey guys, today I'm excited to give you my spoiler-free thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, I attended the world premiere last night, and this movie, if you guys know me, you know I'm a little bit of a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Little bit, just a little bit. So this was a lot. Just going into this movie, I couldn't eat all day. I was afraid I was going to throw up. I was very nervous. I felt like I was going into Endgame and Infinity War because this is the end of I told myself I was gonna cry. This is the end of James Gunn's Guardians as we know them. Okay, doesn't mean we aren't gonna see some of the Guardians in the future, but this is the end of James Gunn's story. This is quite possibly, probably James Gunn's final Marvel film, and so who better than to end the Guardians' journey than James Gunn himself? He has loved these characters before we have even known them. Some people have even known them. So he needed to be the one to complete their story and bring their arcs to a close. And that is exactly what this film does. Every single character has their arc completed in one way or another. This is the perfect ending and also the perfect new beginning. This is how you do a trilogy. This movie is hilarious in true James Gunn fashion, right? You're gonna laugh and then you're gonna have your heart ripped out and then you're gonna laugh again and then you're gonna have your heart ripped out again, and it's like James Gunn is so good at this sort of thing, okay? There's humor, there's a killer soundtrack, of course, right? This wouldn't be a James Gunn movie without a killer soundtrack, but this is just and so many of the songs come back like this pays off the other two films in such a way that is so beautiful. It is unafraid to dive into heavy stuff, though, at the same time. Like, it's funny. It's absolutely funny. Drax has some of his best one-liners that he's had in the entire trilogy in this. And, oh my God, Drax's story is so fantastic as well. Everyone gets their moment. Like I said, everyone does. But this is not just a funny, action-packed movie, which it is that. This is a heavy movie. They touch on heavy topics. I'm talking like alcohol abuse, animal cruelty, and experimenting on animals. Like, this gets dark. It gets really dark. And but then it makes you laugh like 10 seconds later and you're like, what is going on? I can't. My emotions are all over the place. It's intense. You're going to be on the edge of your seat. I personally was on the edge of my seat almost the entire film. From the moment I sat down, I went, okay, all right, let's go through it. So I'm very excited to rewatch it again. I'm going to see it again tonight, thanks to IMAX for an IMAX screening. And I'm very excited to be able to see it, like, knowing what's coming instead of just on the edge of my seat, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Star-Lord and Gamora have some of the absolute best moments in this entire film because you've got to think of how, like, what is happening between the two of them. They had this love, and Peter, feels like he found the love of his life only for her to die and then to come back completely not even remembering him. But then on her side, right, because this is what James Gunn does so well with an ensemble cast, is you see everyone's perspective so well, because you see Gamora and, like, she doesn't want to be in this place. She doesn't remember him. She's breaking his heart and she doesn't want to be. It's just, what position does that make her, like, put her in? You know what I mean? So you've got that. Cosmo and Kraglin have some great stuff as well. There's some serious great humor between the two of them, but a lot of great moments between the two of them as well. There's many moments that I cried, many moments that I shed some tears. I still have a headache from crying so hard last night. And then we've got Nebula's arc. Oh my God, Nebula is such a great arc too. And I'm gonna cry. Everyone here it feels like, Drax, oh my gosh, it feels like they all completed the arc they were meant to complete. And it is perfect. Like I said, it is the perfect ending. At the same time, it's the perfect new beginning. But of course, in true fashion with something like this, we introduce new characters as well. The High Evolutionary is a phenomenal villain. Absolutely terrifying. And that's just, some of his scenes with Rocket are so powerful that you're going to hold your breath all the way through. And a good villain is a good villain because they don't think they're the villain. And that's exactly what we get with the High Evolutionary, right? He feels that he is doing the world, or should I say the galaxy, a service, right? He is trying to find perfect specimens, and that is what he's going to do, create perfect specimens, and there you go. And that's not a bad thing. That's what he thinks is right. And that's why he works so well. And Rocket, oh my God, Rocket, this is it's crazy because this has been the Guardians story. Yes, this has been the Guardians trilogy. Yes. This has been Rocket's story, and that's kind of what James Gunn said, right? It's been his story all along, and you get this is his story. This is his moment. And oh my God, the way this thing plays out for Rocket, it's so good, and it's so perfect, and it's like, I can't even, and Mantis has a great arc as well. I mean, this is literally like completing a perfect arc for all of them, in a way that I didn't think possible. I'll just put it that way. I mean, James Gunn, you guys know I'm a fan of James Gunn. You know, I think that he's very brilliant when it comes to writing, directing, editing, and that is exactly what you get. This is colorful, it's bright, and at other times it's dark and dreary. It's so good in so many different ways, and there's so many things I want to spew and talk about. But it's really hard to really get into my full thoughts without talking about spoilers. I'm probably going to do a spoiler live chat after this is out so that we can all talk through our feelings, because let me tell you, I'm going to need to talk through my feelings. But let me real quick mention on Adam Warlock. So as someone who's a big fan of the comics, I was like, listen, he is so closely tied to the Infinity Stones. I felt like when he was introduced, he was going to be a part of Infinity War because it was the end of Guardians Volume 2. And I'm like, here we go. Like, this is what he's going to be, because that's who he is. I mean, it's the Soul Stone literally on his head in the comic books. And I was like, how are they going to pull off putting him in here after Infinity War and Endgame? Like, how is this going to work? And it works really, really well. And Will Poulter is so good in this role. He's so funny. And he's badass, and he looks great. Like, listen, I love his design. I'm a fan of his of this character in the comics, and I love his design. And I'm curious to see where things go from here. But yeah, you guys let me know if you're looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It comes out on May 5th. I will be back, like I said, for a spoiler chat after it's out, because there's so many things I need to talk about. And I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm going to stop rambling. But you guys let me know if you're excited. And if by the time you got to this review, let me know what you thought down below. Listen, I'm biased, but I give this thing a 5 out of 5. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and check me out at MamasGeeky.com. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.